For nearly a millennium, the Roman Empire stood as an unyielding colossus, a testament to human ambition and organizational prowess. Its influence radiated across 3 continents, shaping laws, languages, and cultures from the Atlantic to the Euphrates. At its zenith, Rome commanded an army of hundreds of thousands, a vast network of roads and aqueducts, and cities that dwarfed any other in the ancient world. The Pax Romana, a period of unprecedented peace and prosperity, was a direct consequence of this immense power, allowing for the flourishing of trade, philosophy, and engineering. The Mediterranean Sea, once a contested expanse, became Mare Nostrum, our sea, a Roman lake facilitating the movement of goods, ideas, and legions. This was an empire built on conquest, sustained by administration, and defined by its unwavering belief in its own eternal destiny. The Roman state was a complex tapestry of governance, incorporating a sophisticated legal system, a robust bureaucracy, and an intricate system of taxation that funded its vast military and public works. Its legions, renowned for their discipline, training, and engineering capabilities, were the ultimate guarantors of Roman authority, capable of projecting power across immense distances and maintaining order within its diverse provinces. The cultural impact was equally profound, with Latin becoming the lingua franca of administration and education, and Roman architectural styles, art, and literature influencing subsequent civilizations for centuries. The very concept of citizenship, of belonging to a universal state governed by law, was a powerful unifying force, binding together peoples of diverse ethnic and geographic origins. Yet, even as Rome celebrated its triumphs, a different reality existed beyond its meticulously guarded frontiers. Along the Rhine and Danube rivers, in the dense forests of Germania, and across the vast steppes of Eurasia, lived peoples whom the Romans, with a mixture of disdain and fear, labeled barbarians. This was not merely a conflict of military might, but a profound cultural encounter that would ultimately lead to the synthesis of Roman and Germanic traditions, giving birth to the foundational elements of modern European identity. The story of Rome and the barbarians is not a simple tale of civilization versus savagery, but a complex narrative of interaction, adaptation, and transformation, a story that continues to resonate in the geopolitical landscape of the modern world. Adrianople's shadow. Among the myriad of peoples pressing against Rome's borders, the Goths emerged as one of the most significant and ultimately transformative forces. Originating from the Baltic region, these East Germanic tribes had migrated southward over centuries, eventually settling in the lands north of the Black Sea, in what is now Ukraine and Romania. In 376 AD, a massive contingent of Visigoths, led by their chieftain Fritigern, gathered on the northern bank of the Danube River, imploring Emperor Valens of the Eastern Roman Empire for permission to cross into Roman territory. Valens, facing a difficult decision, ultimately agreed, hoping to gain a new source of recruits for his army and perhaps settle a troublesome population. Yet, the execution of this agreement was a monumental failure. The Visigoths, once grateful refugees, became a starving, enraged, and rearmed force within Roman borders, their trust in Roman authority utterly destroyed. On August 9, 378 AD, near the city of Adrianople, Valens led his Eastern Roman army into battle. It was a scorching summer day, and the Roman legions, already exhausted from a long march, were ill-prepared for the engagement. The Battle of Adrianople quickly devolved into a disaster for the Romans. The decisive moment came with the unexpected return of the Visigothic cavalry, which crashed into the Roman flanks, encircling and trapping the legions. Emperor Valens himself was killed, his body lost amidst the carnage and never recovered. Adrianople was more than just a military defeat, it was a profound psychological blow to the Roman world. It shattered the long-held belief in Roman military invincibility and demonstrated that barbarian forces, when united and properly led, could not only challenge but utterly destroy a Roman army. From Spain to Carthage. As the Visigoths navigated their tumultuous relationship with Rome in the east, another Germanic tribe, the Vandals, embarked on a journey that would redefine the concept of barbarian invasion. On the frigid night of December 31, 406 AD, a massive coalition of Vandals, Alans, and Suebi crossed the frozen Rhine River, breaching one of Rome's most vital frontiers. Gaiseric, who became king of the Vandals and Alans in 428 AD, recognized the strategic importance and immense wealth of Roman North Africa, the breadbasket of the Western Empire. In 429 AD, he led his entire people, estimated at 80,000 men, women, and children, across the Strait of Gibraltar. The Vandal conquest of North Africa, culminating in the capture of Carthage in 439 AD, was a death blow to the Western Empire's economy. From this strategic port, Gaiseric transformed his land-based warriors into a formidable naval power. On June 2, 455 AD, Gaiseric and his forces entered Rome. The Vandal sack was systematic and prolonged, lasting for 14 days. While Pope Leo I reportedly negotiated with Gaiseric to spare the city from fire and indiscriminate slaughter, the Vandals meticulously stripped Rome of its immense wealth. The sack of Rome by the Vandals was a devastating blow to Roman prestige and a stark symbol of its vulnerability. If the Goths and Vandals represented a persistent, internal erosion of Roman power, the Huns embodied an external, cataclysmic shockwave that fundamentally altered the course of late antiquity. It was under the leadership of Attila, who ascended to sole rule of the Hunnic Empire in 445 AD, that this fearsome force reached its terrifying zenith. The Romans, both east and west, referred to him as the Scourge of God. In 451 AD, Attila turned his attention westward, towards the rich and relatively untouched provinces of Gaul. Facing this unprecedented threat, the Western Roman Empire found an unlikely savior in its last great general, Flavius Aetius. The climactic confrontation occurred in the summer of 451 AD on the Catalonian plains. Despite the ferocity of the Hunnic assault, Aetius managed to prevent Attila from achieving a decisive breakthrough. Though not a clear-cut Roman victory, the battle was a strategic triumph of immense significance. It saved Gaul from devastation and marked the first major defeat for Attila. Attila, though not decisively beaten, was forced to retreat. In 452 AD, he invaded Italy but mysteriously turned back before reaching Rome. Attila died in 453 AD, and with his death, the vast Hunnic Empire quickly disintegrated. By the mid-5th century, the Western Roman Empire was a mere shadow of its former glory, a political entity in name only. The last emperor of the Western Roman Empire was a young boy named Romulus Augustulus. His reign, from 475 to 476 AD, was brief and utterly inconsequential. In 476 AD, the Germanic general Odoacer staged a revolt, deposed Romulus Augustulus, and sent the imperial regalia to Constantinople. This act is traditionally marked by historians as the definitive end of the Western Roman Empire. The fall of Rome was not a singular event but a protracted process, a slow, agonizing death brought about by internal weaknesses and relentless external pressures. The fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 AD was not an abrupt cataclysm but the culmination of a long, complex process of transformation. Many of the so-called barbarian kings admired Roman civilization and consciously sought to preserve and integrate aspects of it into their new kingdoms. Christianity played an absolutely crucial role in this process of integration and cultural transmission. The Church emerged as the most stable and unifying institution in a fragmented world. Economically, the collapse of centralized Roman authority led to a more localized and agrarian society. The foundations for medieval feudalism were laid during this period. Ultimately, the barbarian kingdoms were not merely destructive forces, they were the crucible in which a new Europe was forged. The story of Rome and the barbarians is thus a complex tapestry of conflict and cooperation, destruction and creation. It reminds us that history is rarely a simple narrative of good versus evil, but rather a dynamic interplay of diverse peoples, cultures, and forces.